The back of this morning's Times, Newcastle may have to offload stars. Chief Executive Darren Neal says the club has to be compliant with the Premier League profits. The likes of Alexander Isak, Sven Botman, Guimaraes are being mentioned as players who could leave. Now, this is a shocker if this happens, surely. John is now to bring us right up to date with the end and all the other transfer news. TalkSPORT's chief football correspondent, Alex Crook, joins us again. Alex, good morning.
Morning, Alex.
Good morning, how are we?
Good, but this is a shocker if you're a Newcastle fan to lose top players like this. They're looking maybe to add, but it looks as if, I'm sorry, restraints, we've got to sell before we add.
Yeah, this is a story we covered actually on the TalkSPORT transfer notebook last week, suggesting that Newcastle may have to cash in on one of their crown jewels. We know that they're right up against it in terms of those profit and sustainability rules. The names you've mentioned there, Bruno Guimaraes has a release clause of £100 million in his contract. He's been looked at by the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona, Sven Botman and Alexander Isak as well. I'm keen to get Ray's view on him because I know that Arsenal have had a long-standing interest in Isak. I don't think he's necessarily one for January, but I think maybe could come into play in terms of Arsenal in the summer transfer window. And we have debated this actually on the Premier League All Access podcast that was released yesterday. I'm just not sure these financial rules are doing what they were supposed to do. It just seems to me it's creating a bit of a closed shop, because if you're Chelsea or you're Manchester United, you've got that historic wealth and obviously all the money that is generated through marketing revenue around the world.
Yeah.
You can spend as much as you like. But if you're Newcastle, clearly the owners have got deep pockets, but they're being prohibitive from spending and really properly competing with those big clubs.
Yeah, you've got a point, Alex. I mean, you look at Manchester United and certain clubs, Liverpool around the world, and they're obviously a lot bigger than Newcastle growing, like a little bit like Man City. Man City getting bigger and bigger the more they win and more successful they are. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what the rules are at the moment with how you buy players as well. Will that change sooner or later? Because we know lots of clubs try and do it over a period of 5-6 years, how they pay the transfer fee. Is that still the same, or will the Premier League will look at that?
No, you can still stagger payments, but I think what's happening more and more, and we saw it with David Raya with Arsenal, that is effectively a permanent transfer, but he signed on loan with the option stroke obligation to buy at the end of the season. That's just basically moving money from one financial year to the next. And obviously, I've spoken about the big name players that Newcastle could sell. The quickest way for them to raise revenue and make the balance sheet look better is to sell an academy player. Lewis Miley obviously has had a breakthrough season, and Sean Longstaff has had interest from other Premier League clubs in the past. If they were to sell one of those two players in the summer, whatever money they generate goes down as 100% profit, because of course they didn't cost a transfer fee in the first place.
On the other hand, if I'm a supporter, I want to see some of the academy players come through and be legends at the club for many, many years. So that doesn't stack up then, does it?
No. Alex, what about Dyer going to Bayern Munich? Does that surprise you?
Not necessarily surprises me, because we know that Thomas Tuchel was having a look at him in the summer transfer window as well, and Tuchel has spent a lot of his Bayern Munich career coming back and either signing or trying to sign players from the Premier League. But I think it's a brilliant move for Dyer at this stage of his career. Obviously, wasn't going to play at Spurs, even when they were without both their first-choice centre-backs. Ange Postecoglou was preferring to play full-backs in the centre of his defence, so that made it pretty clear that Dyer didn't fit into what he wanted to do. But it's a terrific move, isn't it? Joining the biggest club in Germany, one of the favourites for the Champions League. And I do wonder, if he goes there and does well, does that reignite his chances of getting in England's European Championship squad, or is it a little bit too late, we think?
Alex, compared to last year, just quickly, Al, sorry. Compared to last year, what is more business been done so far or less?
No, last year was a record January spend. I don't think we're going to see those levels this year. There's a lot of different factors in that. A lot of it is to do with the profit and sustainability. I was speaking to an agent a few days ago, and he was suggesting that 80% of Premier League clubs are right up against it in that respect. But I think also, if you look at what happened in the summer, obviously Chelsea went big, Manchester United went big, Arsenal went big. So I don't think they've got the resources to do that again in this window. We've spoken about Newcastle. And then you look down at the bottom of the table, and historically January is busier for those clubs trying to avoid relegation. I think Sheffield United look doomed. Burnley and Luton still favourites to go down at this moment in time. So if you're a Crystal Palace or a Brentford, you're probably gambling on the fact those 3 teams that came up will go down, and therefore you don't really need to take too many risks.
Who do you fancy the weekend, that Burnley-Luton game?
Tonight.
Yes, it's a big one tonight on TalkSPORT. I did the reverse fixture, actually, for TalkSPORT International, did the commentary, and Luton got back in the game late on. They got a late equaliser and then conceded almost straight from the restart. So I think they'll be reeling from that and looking for a little bit of revenge. But whoever does win it, I mean, it's a big boost in terms of their survival hopes. If there is a winner, that team will fancy their chances in the second half of the season.
Wow, TalkSPORT International, really? I didn't know we had one of them.
Going global.
Oh, it's pay rise time. Don't worry about that. Alex, where are you the weekend for us?
So I'm at Southampton on Saturday.
Ray's there.
I'll see you there, Alex, yeah.
Oh, we're there together, are we? Look forward to it. And then Manchester United Spurs on Sunday, which again is a big one for Erik Ten Hag, because I do think now with Sir Jim Ratcliffe getting his feet under the table, Ten Hag, as Jamie Carragher put it in the Telegraph this morning, he's almost on trial, isn't he, for the rest of the season?
TalkSPORT Breakfast, waking you up Monday to Friday morning from 6 a.m. on AM, on DAB, via the TalkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. TalkSPORT.